Inferno, the journey of the clan. 30 years ago, in the land of Solgaveris, a village stood in the middle of the dense forest. Flames engulfed the houses as roars echoed like sirens in the distance. Birds chirped and cawed as smoke rose into the air. A large dragon stood in the middle of the chaos, roaring and spewing fire out of its maw. The dragon had red scales along its flank and 8 tails, each with different colors and different tail tips at the ends of them. The dragon's eyes searched around until they locked onto the eyes of a half-human, half-dragon creature standing on a rooftop, back facing the dragon. "Not you again," the half-human said. The dragon continued to roar in protest as its tail smashed buildings and crushed towers. The full moon shined its ethereal light across the hills and trees that surrounded the village. "Pyria!" the half-human roared, glaring daggers at the dragon. The dragon opened its maw as an orb of swirling energy formed at the front of its snout. The ball of energy kept swirling and getting bigger as the dragon added more energy to the ball of chakra. "No!" the half-human yelled, eyes widening as he realized that this ball of energy could destroy the village in one hit. The half-human put on a special mask that covered the top of his head and the bottom of his jaw, but left his cheek exposed. The mask had the colors of deep indigo and an ocean blue. This mask was said to be made of pure diamond and obsidian. The dragon used its fire tail to smack the half-human in the head, knocking off the mask off his head. The half-human fell to the ground as his mask bounced a few times before stopping on the ground, cracked and in pieces. The half-human opened his eyes, but then his eyes widened as in fear as the dragon's lightning tail came swooshing down towards him. "No!" the half-human yelled, trying to dodge, but the half-human was too slow. The sharp end of the lightning tail pierced his chest and showed on the other side, impaling him on the tail. The half-human raised his sword, trying to slice off the tail, but the tail shocked him with its lightning pulse that surged through the tail. Soon the half-human had no energy left inside of him to cut it, so his hand slipped off the hilt of his sword, and the sword's tip pierced the ground. The dragon swung its tail around and around until the half-human flew off and hit the ground. Thoughts began to take image in the half-human's mind as blood pooled around him. "Damn it," the half-human muttered as the images became more vivid in his mind. One image of the half-human's wife smiling became apparent in his vision. His wife was smiling, with white hair and a cute pink flower in her hair, as her hair flowed around the dark void. "Snowfall, I'm sorry you couldn't make it home," the half-human said. "Our son—" Tears spilled down the half-human's face. "Thank you," he muttered, eyes closing. The last thing the half-human could render in his ears was the dragon roaring in the distance. It sounded like the dragon was roaring in victory. It was the last thing the half-human heard before he blacked out. Was towers and buildings knocking over and the screams of his friends echoing. Chapter 1, 30 years later. If you are reading this, you must have stolen this book or borrowed it. Either way, you must be a human. I, on the other hand, ain't a human. I don't know what I am, but I know that I'm only part human. This is the story of me and how I restored my clan. I am Inferno Durganarium, from a clan of half-human, half-whatever I am, called the Durganarium clan. My clan speak a language called Durgan, but I learned how to write English so I could write this book. I never learned how to read or speak Durgan, mostly. If you don't like blood and gore, please close this book and leave. But if you like blood and gore, keep on reading. Right now, it's 1,300 casts. If you are wondering what cast means, it means continue after sage. Basically, the sage was the first of my clan to ever touch this island. His name was Solkaveris. He had large wings on his back and a tail. He flew to this island and named it after himself. Then he created 8 gems that summoned the first 8 elemental of my clan. In Silcoveris, there were 8 first main elements of my clan: fire, water, earth, air, lightning, darkness, dune, and snow. Those last 4 may not seem like elements, but they are called the secondary elements. Well, now you kind of know what caste means. It's counting up the years since he died, meaning that the sage, Silcoveris, died 1,300 years ago. There is a war going on called the Eightfold War, where there are humans, also called hunters, who are hunting my kind. Thing is, there are 8 kin who are considered as gods. They are called the Godal kin. I am one of them. Oh, well, I think. The Godal kin are known to have established the 8 kingdoms on Silcoveris. Silcoveris is not one kingdom divided into 8 lands, it's one land divided into 8 kingdoms. There is the Fire Kingdom, which I rule, the Water Kingdom, which Tide Wave rules that, the Earth Kingdom, Willow Bushmallow rules that, the Air Kingdom, Breezy rules that, the Lightning Kingdom, Zeus Arcane Bolt rules that, the Darkness Kingdom, Fatespeaker rules that, the Dune Kingdom, Dune Ladder rules that, and the Snow Kingdom, Marine rules that. Problem is, I'm the last Godalkin on Silcoveris, and the last of my kind. After the Pyria attack on 1,270 casts, I was only an adultkin, and the other Godalkin used up all their power to seal Pyria somewhere, but they all died saving Silcoveris. My kind is in danger. I must find all the tailed beasts, seal them inside Emberstones, and use the scroll of the Durganarian clan to bring back the other Godal kin. If I don't, my kind could be vulnerable to the hunters. So here is the story.